All right, guys. Algebra review part two. What we're going to talk about is stuff we've done earlier in this year that's very important for next year. Being able to use your calculator to find key parts of functions. And what I'm going to go through on this is just a refresh on how to find local maximums and minimums. The reason I put vertex is we did this a lot with quadratics. Talk about the definition of global maximums and minimums and how that relates to domain and range. Make sure we understand or remember how to do x-intercepts and y-intercept. And then I did blue and intersection of graphs because I'll be doing that also in this, but just a few slides from now. I'm going to do it all with the TI-84 and TI-Inspire. So be ready. You're going to skip around, or there's certain parts. If I'm on the calculator you're not using, ignore it. If you're in between and you're thinking about buying a calculator, this might turn into a sales pitch for the TI-Inspire because they do this very easy. So let's start. First thing, given this graph, y equals x cubed minus 2x squared minus x plus 2, I want you to find any local maximums and minimums, find any x-intercepts, and find the y-intercept of that graph, and then give me a little sketch on that one and label all those points. You could try it now by pausing, or if you just listen, I'll talk my way through it, and then you'll have a chance on another problem or the homework. So pause now if you want to try it. Okay, if you're still with me, then I'm going to assume that you want to know how. So if I put it in the calculator, and I'll start off with the 84, ignore that bottom part, it'll come up later. We go into y equals, put in x raised to the third power minus 2x squared minus x plus 2. Then we graph it. Okay? We end up with that. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the x-intercept. And I'm just going to get one, and I'll allow you guys to try to figure out a couple of them, or the other two. So everything starts in the same spot. So remember this. We hit second trace, which is the calculate button. And the first one, I'm going x-intercept, so I want to find the zeros. Okay? So my first goal is I'm going to try to find this 0 right here. I know this is where it hits the x-axis. So I got to go to the left of it. Left bound, get to the left of wherever I think that intercept is. That'll work. Right bound, get to the right of it. And my calculator shows you, my calculator is only going to look in between here for a 0, for an x-intercept. So when it says guess, I hit enter. I get -1, 0. Okay? When I'm done with this, I would recommend pausing and seeing if you can get these two x-intercepts on your own. Okay? Next thing, I want to find this maximum point. Okay? I want to find this maximum point here. So once again, second calculate. I want a maximum, so I'm going to hit number 4. Left bound, well, I'm to the left of where that maximum is. Get to the right of it. I'm to the right of it. Hit enter. Guess. Takes me to that one. -0.215 and 211. That's my local maximum. Okay? So local maximum would be the top of the mountain. Local minimum, bottom of the hill. Okay? So then I can say, okay, let's find the local minimum. Second calc. Minimum this time, hit 3. Get to the left of wherever it is. That's close enough. Enter. Get to the right of where it is. So what it's doing is it's telling my calculator to look between these two lines for the smallest point. So it's going to go to this one. So when I hit guess, it goes to this one here. Okay? So second calculate again. And there's more than one way of doing it, but I'm keeping it all. I'm going to do value. And this is to find my y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept happens when x equals 0. Hit enter. It takes me right to this point right here. Okay? So, if you did all of that correctly, then you should have gotten the following for it. This x-intercept is at -1, 0. This x-intercept is at 1, 0. This x-intercept is at 2, 0. Okay? Our local maximum should have been at negative 0.22 if I go to 2 decimal spots, and I'm going to ask you to do that. 2.11. Our local minimum should have been at 1.55, negative 0.63. Okay, that takes care of those. And then my y-intercept should have been at 0, 2.5. That's wrong. 0, 2. I apologize. You'll see why I said that later. Okay, and that would be all the points. Now, domain and range. Domain is my x's. So if I look at left and right, is there anywhere it cuts off? No. So my domain would be x is an element of all real numbers. It's everything. Range, which is your y's. Y is also an element of all real numbers because up and down, it never ends. It keeps on going. This also talks about my global max and minimum. The global sees how far up do you go? Well, it never ends. It's infinity. Global minimum, what's the smallest it ever goes? Well, it keeps on going this way too. So global max and minimum are infinity. There is no real global maximum or minimum. All right. So if you need to, go back to this section for the TI-84. Now I'm going to start the inspire directions on this. So same thing. You pull up on your inspire. You're hitting graph. This should come up. If this doesn't come up, you can hit tab, and I'll show you if this came up this way. You hit tab. Type in the equation here. Hit graph. And you're good on this one. I'm going to escape on this one. Now, here's the key part. For you to find it, this is where it makes it easy. If you hit menu and you hit trace, graph trace, here's the nice thing about your calculator. You can just scroll. It will tell you key points. It says 0, 2, 0. Watch what happens. Minimum, 1.54, negative 0.63. Keep going. 0, 1, 0. Keep going. Y-intercept, 0, 2. Keep going. Where was my max? Hey. Skip my max. 0, negative 1, 0. So skip my max. I'm going to do this. Menu, analyze graph, maximum. Get to the left. Get to the right. There's my max. So that was kind of a nice problem to have, to be honest. Okay. Try that out. Most of the time, you guys are easy on that one. But realize if trace doesn't work, then you go to analyze graph, and then you use the same directions as I gave the 84 people. All right. Now, let me give you time, everyone, to catch up at this point, because you might be scrolling all over YouTube right now. Try this one on your own. See if you can find the local maximum minimums, top of the mountain, bottom of the hill, any x-intercepts, a y-intercept of x cubed minus 2.5x squared minus x plus 2.5, and then tell me what the domain and range is. Okay, pause now and try it. This is what you should have ended up with. If you did your local maxes correctly, then you should have gotten a local max at negative 0.18, 2.59, and a local minimum at 1.85, negative 1.58. If you're trying to find the x-intercepts on this, red, x-intercepts should have gotten at 2.50 is here. This one should have been 1, 0, and this one should have been negative 1, 0. Make sure you know how to do a calculator, that you're not just guessing because it's close to it. And then the y-intercept on this one, 0, 2.5. Okay? One more thing. Oh, and just to clarify, I realize, and domain and range, once again, x doesn't end left and right, so x is an element of all real numbers. Range doesn't end up or down. Y is an element of all real numbers. Bring that up because of a quadratic. If you find the local minimum, This is at 4, -3. See if you can guess what the domain and the range is. Left and right, up and down. Say it in your head, write it down, whatever way you want to do it. I'll do it in 5. X, the domain, is an element of all real numbers. Y, though, the range isn't, because Y ends. This is as far down as you go. So Y is always going to be greater than or equal to -3, because it goes up from here. Okay? Now, intersection, also calculator. I'll talk about it on both calculators again. So, find the intersection. This should be still in your calculator. Y equals x cubed minus 2.5 x squared minus x plus 2.5. And the intersection of y equals x plus 1. Okay? I'll go through that with both calculators. First one, 84. Y equals, I've already put it in these ones here. Little side note, if you go on the equal signs and hit enter, if it's highlighted, it graphs. If it's not highlighted, it doesn't graph. So there's those two graphs on that one. Go to the graph here. There's one graph. There's the other graph. Once again, the nice thing about this, second trace. But now I'm trying to find the intersection, number 5. Get to the left of wherever there's an intersection. There's 3 of them here. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to get this one first. So I'm going to get to the left of that one. Okay, that's to the left of it. I hit, first curve. Sorry. Second curve, it goes up to the other one. Enter, and then it says guess. Now what happens is, because I'm closest to this intersection, it's going to give me this answer. -1, 0. Okay? If I'm closer to the other one, second trace, intersection 5. So I'll get closer to, I'll let you get the decimal one in the middle. Hit enter, enter, enter. Tells me that one's at 3, 4. Okay? I recommend pausing and trying to find this one. TI Inspire people. I am all over the place here. Put in your functions, just the same. Yours is the check mark, so check mark, that's gone. I'm also going to delete that. That's from the previous tab. Check mark, that's graphing. Put in those two graphs. I want to find the intersection of this. So I go menu, analyze graph, intersect. I get to the left of it, or lower bound of it, get to the right of it, and you can see the answer's already popping up. And that is nice. I could scroll and there's the fraction one. Hit enter, gives me that one. If I want to find this one over here, I just do the whole thing again. I hit not that, because I hit control that. Menu, analyze graph, intersect, left of it, right of it. There's that one. So try to find that one on it. And that's the directions, and that's as far as we're going to go. So that's what you should have gotten for the 3 intercepts. -1, 0, 0.5, 1.5, and 3, 4. That's the 3 different locations on that. Okay? Recommend trying the Algebra Review Part 2 worksheet, and then ask questions if you have any.